The death penalty has been a controversial and very debatable issue for centuries. It is also known as the capital punishment, and it is a government-sanctioned practice whereby a person who has been found guilty by the court is put to death for committing capital crimes or offenses. The death penalty in the Philippines set out in the Republic Act No. 7659, which is an act to impose death penalty on certain heinous crimes. The Philippines is one among 140 countries that have abolished death penalty either in law or in practice, as part of worldwide trend off from capital punishment. Yet, there are repeated attempts the Philippines to reinstate capital punishment, with current Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte wanting to restore it. What will this penalty contribute to lessen inhuman crimes, while this punishment is also inhuman? The idea that it will rid Philippines' problems related to drugs or to deter crime is solely wrong. We're introducing death penalty is rather a foolish move. After all, with our imperfect justice system, it will only complicate things. In the only country in Asia to first ban death penalty, then reimpose it later and ban it again, international community as well as the Catholic Church and human rights advocates are once again focusing on Duterte's latest stand on reviving death penalty. Reintroducing death penalty is not right at all. Why? First, it infringes the most fundamental human right, the right to life. It is the most ultimate cruel, inhuman, and degrading punishment. Despite the fact that death penalty is a constitutional punishment, it does not equate to a justifiable punishment. Second, it is unjust. It is often used against the most vulnerable in society, including the poor, ethnic and religious minorities, and persons with mental disabilities. Where justice systems are flawed and unfair trials are common, the death penalty can quite possibly erroneously take the life of an innocent person, thus ruin the life of a person who was not to blame for any wrongdoing. When the death penalty is carried out, it is final. Mistakes that are made cannot be unmade. An innocent person may be released from prison for a crime they did not commit, but an execution can never be reversed. Third, killing someone does not mean the person deserves to die too. Contrary to what Duterte said, that in the Philippines, it is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Executing someone because they have taken someone's life is revenge, not justice. An execution, or the threat of one, inflicts terrible physical and psychological cruelty. Any society which executes offenders is committing the same violence it condemns. And then lastly, the death penalty does not really prevent crime. Not according to the research. There is no credible evidence that the death penalty deters crime more effectively than a prison term. A panel of the National Academy of Sciences addressed the deterrence question directly in 2012 and unanimously concluded that there was no credible evidence that the death penalty deters homicide. Moreover, majority of Filipinos want death penalty brought back. Nearly 6 in every 10 Filipinos agree that it should be reinstated for heinous crimes. In addition, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Director Aaron Aquino strongly supports the stand of President Duterte for the reimposition of death penalty because big-time drug peddlers deserve it. Also, Senator Manny Pacquiao believes that executions are the best deterrent for big drug syndicate through firing squad. He also added that even Jesus Christ was sentenced to death because the government imposed the rule. The support for the death penalty often goes hand in hand with a lack of reliable information about it. Most often, the mistaken belief that it will reduce crime. Many governments are quick to promote this erroneous belief even though there is no evidence to support it. Various studies on the death penalty in other countries have concluded that there is no evidence showing deterrence. Hence, Death penalty is not a good form of deterrence and cannot deter people from committing crimes. Crucial factors that underlie how the death penalty is applied are often not understood. These include the risk of executing an innocent person, the unfairness of trials, and the discriminatory nature of the death penalty, all of which contribute to a fully informed view of capital punishment. The death penalty is unethical, counterproductive punishment, and is never the solution. It can never solve crimes as death penalty is a crime itself. Crimes will never end in causing more death. For as the famous Mahatma Gandhi would say, an eye for an eye will only make the world blind. It violates the most fundamental human right. Even the guilty have a right to life. Human rights apply to the best of us and to the worst of us.